I remember the morning light spilling into our bedroom, hitting Sarah's face like it was made for sunshine. "You know," she said, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear, "I can't believe we're actually going to have a baby." "I know," I whispered, my hand on hers. "It feels unreal. Perfect, even." She smiled, that smile that always made my chest tighten. "We've dreamed about this forever, right?" "Forever," I said. Holding back the urge to tell her I already felt like my life was complete. The first few weeks were a dream. We laughed over baby names, argued over tiny details like nursery colors, and shared that quiet, the electric energy that only comes when two people are building a life together. But then the first crack appeared. "Hey, Sarah, who was calling just now?" I asked one evening, noticing her phone light up. "Oh, it's nothing," she replied quickly, sliding the phone under a pillow. "Just someone from work." I nodded, but a small knot twisted in my stomach. Work calls didn't usually come at 10 at night. "Are you sure?" She kissed me on the cheek. "I promise." I tried to push the thought away. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was imagining things because I wanted everything to be perfect. A week later, another call. Same secretive tone. Same quick dismissal. And then it happened. "Sarah, I started watching her face pale." "What is it?" She sank onto the couch, gripping her hands together. I had a miscarriage." The words hit me like a truck. My throat tightened, and I couldn't breathe. What do you mean when?" "Last week," she said, eyes avoiding mine. "I didn't want to tell you. I thought I could handle it on my own." "Handle it?" "Sarah, we were supposed to be in this together." My voice cracked. "How could you keep this from me?" "I didn't want to hurt you," she whispered, tears glistening. "I thought it would be easier if I just took it alone." I sank beside her, gripping her hands. "You can't just decide that for both of us." I needed to be there. "We promised each other honesty, remember?" She sobbed softly. "I'm sorry. I really am. I thought maybe you'd be stronger if I didn't tell you." I stared at her, numb. My mind raced. The pain wasn't just for the baby. It was the realization that the life I thought I had, the perfect marriage, the perfect partner, was fragile, maybe even false. And then I noticed it. The little inconsistencies. The way she avoided certain topics, the vague excuses for her absence. The tiny lies I'd dismissed before suddenly felt enormous. "Sarah, can I ask something?" I said cautiously. "Yes." She replied, voice trembling. "Were you honest with me?" Her eyes widened. She shook her head slowly. What do you mean?" I swallowed hard. I wanted to trust her. I wanted to believe that this was just grief, just pain talking. But the faint whisper of doubt had arrived, and it was loud. I looked down at my hands, gripping the couch. My chest ached, and I couldn't tell if it was for the baby, for her, or for the life I thought I had. "Maybe all of it. I just don't know what's real anymore," I whispered. She reached for me, but I pulled back slightly, suddenly unsure of everything. The perfect life I thought I had, was it ever real? And somewhere deep inside a voice whispered that something was terribly, horribly wrong. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. "Sarah, who were you texting just now?" I asked one night, watching her slip her phone into her purse before I could see the screen. "It's nothing," she said too quickly. "Just someone checking on me, checking on you." At midnight. My voice was sharper than I intended. She avoided my eyes. "Yeah, just a friend." "Don't worry about it." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But the knot in my stomach wouldn't let me. Later that week, I called David. "I don't know, man. Something's wrong," I admitted, running a hand through my hair. "What do you mean?" David's voice was steady, cautious. "Sarah, she's hiding things. Late-night messages, vague excuses. I can't explain it, but I feel it." "I just feel it," I said, my voice tight with frustration. "Careful," David warned. "You're still grieving. It's easy to let suspicion eat at you." I know, but I hesitated. I can't stop thinking about it. Every time she laughs too quickly, hides her phone, says she's busy, something feels wrong. David sighed. "Trust your instincts." but don't jump without proof. Watch, listen, but don't destroy yourself with paranoia. I hung up and stared at the ceiling, mind racing. Memories surfaced. Small lies I'd brushed off, moments that didn't add up. The way she had said she'd been home the night she really wasn't, or how she had avoided my questions about her miscarriage. I tried to tell myself I was overthinking, but doubt gnawed at me. The next evening, Sarah sat down beside me, sighing. I have to go out for a bit. A friend needs me? A friend needs you? At this hour? I asked. Yes. Emergency. I can't explain more. She kissed my cheek and left. The emptiness she left behind felt like a punch to my chest. I paced the living room, thoughts spinning. Who is she meeting? Why can't she tell me? I muttered to myself. Later, I found myself on her laptop, hesitating before opening her messages. I can't believe I'm doing this, I whispered. But I clicked. Texts, emails, social media small inconsistencies jumped out. Conversations she had denied, names I didn't recognize, excuses that didn't make sense. Each message was a spark in the growing fire of suspicion. I shut the laptop, hands trembling. I'm losing my mind, I admitted aloud. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. Every lie seemed to multiply, every smile of hers now suspect. Days blurred. I barely ate, barely slept. I found myself lying awake, replaying her words, scanning her social media updates for hidden meaning. Is this what grief feels like? I asked myself, heart pounding. Or is it betrayal? David called again. You sound exhausted. Talk to me. I can't stop thinking about her, I confessed. Everything's turning into a question mark. I feel sick, but I can't stop. I love her, yet I can't trust her. Just breathe, he said. You need clarity, not obsession. I know, but I have to know. I have to understand what's real. Even when I was alone, her absence haunted me. I remembered her sudden smiles, the way she flinched when I asked certain questions. The mysterious calls she claimed were nothing. Each memory now felt like a clue, but a dangerous one. That night, I whispered into the darkness, "Who are you really, Sarah?" My voice barely audible, but the question burned like fire in my chest. And for the first time, I felt the unmistakable pull of suspicion. The perfect life I thought I had was beginning to crumble. I stared at the screen, disbelief freezing me. This can't be real, I muttered, fingers trembling over Sarah's phone. Photos, messages, meeting times, all pointed to someone else. Someone who wasn't me. I called David immediately. David, she's been seeing someone. My voice shook. What? Are you sure? He asked, calm but serious. I'll look at this. She lied about everything, the miscarriage, the nights she said she was at home. She's been with him. Take a breath, he said. You need proof before confronting her. I have proof, I whispered. The fury started as a dull ache and grew sharp, cutting through my chest. I can't believe I didn't see it before. How? How could she do this? That evening, she walked in smiling. Hey, honey. I got us some takeout. I barely looked at the food. We need to talk. Her smile faltered slightly. What's wrong? I know, I said. My voice was low, deliberate. I know about him. The meetings, the messages, the lies. She laughed nervously. I don't know what you mean. Don't play dumb, Sarah. I saw everything. She stepped closer, tilting her head. Maybe you're imagining things. You've been stressed. You've been grieving. Your mind is filling gaps where there are none. Grieving? You mean the miscarriage you lied about? My hands shook. Do you know what you've done? I didn't lie, she said softly, voice almost pleading. I wanted to protect you. I thought it would be easier if you didn't have to worry. Can't you see that? No. You've been seeing him while I mourned what you said we lost together. My chest felt like it was being crushed. How could you betray me like this? She stepped back, hands raised in defense. Betray? I never betrayed you. Maybe I made mistakes, but I didn't betray you. You're twisting this? I'm twisting this? I yelled. You met him in secret. You lied about nights, calls, everything. Her eyes softened. You're hurt. I get it. But hurt makes people see things differently. You're looking for someone to blame, and it's me. I can't change that you feel betrayed. I sank into the couch, feeling rage and confusion collide. So all this time, everything I believed was a lie? I never lied about loving you, she whispered. I just didn't know how to handle things. Loving me? Loving me? You tell me we lost our baby, and meanwhile you're sneaking around behind my back? My voice cracked. Do you know what I feel right now? Do you? I'm sorry, she said softly. I really am. I thought maybe I could fix everything before it hurt you. Fix everything? I laughed bitterly. By lying? By cheating? I didn't cheat, not in the way you're thinking, she said, eyes glistening. It wasn't physical, just emotional. You have to understand that. Understand. I spat the word. I've been grieving a miscarriage I never had, and all the while, you were with someone else. That's what you want me to understand? She stepped closer, voice trembling. I wanted to tell you, but I didn't know how. I thought you'd hate me forever. I couldn't even look at her. I hate that I trusted you. I hate that I loved you blindly. I hate that I can't even think straight right now. Her face softened with regret. I never meant to hurt you this much. Please, try to see that. I didn't plan for any of this to happen. See it? I muttered almost to myself. I see the truth now. The miscarriage story was just a cover. A cover for what? Emotional affairs? Secrets? Lies? She shook her head. It was complicated. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I cut her off. I can't even talk to you right now. I need space. I need to think. Everything I thought I knew was a lie. She reached out, but I stepped back. Don't, I said. Not yet. I sat there, heart pounding, chest tight. Rage, grief, disbelief, they tangled inside me. I didn't know what to do next. I wanted to scream, to throw things, to hurt her like she had hurt me, but I couldn't. All I knew was that the first stage of revenge had begun, not with action, but with a burning need to expose every lie, to see the truth laid bare, and that fire inside me was growing, and I couldn't stop it. I couldn't sleep that night. My mind kept spinning, turning over every lie, every secret, every stolen moment. I whispered to myself, I need proof. I need answers. The next morning, I called David. I can't just sit here. I have to know everything, or I'll go insane. Slow down, he said. Rage will make you careless. You need a plan. I have a plan. I'm tracking her accounts, her messages, her finances, anything that'll show me the truth. David sighed. Be careful. One wrong step, and it'll all backfire. Don't let your emotions blind you. I won't, I said. But even as I spoke, my hands shook. I started small, checking her email, social media, bank transfers. Each discovery tightened the knot in my chest. Late-night restaurant bills, unexplained payments, names I didn't recognize. So much for honesty, I muttered. David called again that evening. Any progress? Yeah, I said, voice low. It's worse than I imagined. There are meetings, messages I didn't know existed. Every small thing I ignored before they all make sense now. Patience, he said. Let the evidence build. Don't jump too soon. I remembered the signs I had missed. The nights she said she was home. The sudden excuses for phone calls. The laughter that didn't reach her eyes. I let myself be blind, I whispered. I loved her too much to see the truth. That night, I found something that stopped me cold. A photo in a private folder time-stamped weeks after the miscarriage she claimed. She was smiling, holding her stomach, pregnant. Not with our child. My stomach dropped. I dialed David immediately. You won't believe this. What? He asked, alarmed. A photo. She's pregnant. After she told me she lost the baby, it's not mine. My voice broke. I can't, how could she? Everything was a lie. David was silent for a moment. I'm sorry, man. That's brutal. But now you have proof. Don't let anger ruin the next step. Use this carefully." "I know," I said, gripping the edge of the table. "This isn't just about anger anymore. It's about truth. About reclaiming control. About justice." The more I uncovered, the angrier I became. But David's voice reminded me that revenge wasn't about destruction. It was about exposure, about holding her accountable. "I need her lies out in the open," I whispered. "I need the truth to be undeniable." I spent hours going through her messages again, cross-referencing dates, photos, and conversations. Each connection I found made the betrayal sharper. Each moment I had ignored, each word I had accepted at face value, now screamed at me. How could I have been so blind? I asked myself. I paused, thinking of the nights I had tried to comfort her. The times I forgave small lies, the excuses I made because I loved her. "I let love make me stupid," I admitted, clenching my fists. David's voice came again in my head. "Patience. Don't let the fire consume you. Use it." I exhaled slowly, feeling a strange calm settle over me. The anger was still there, but it was sharper, directed. It was focused. The proof, the undeniable evidence, was in my hands. Finally, I looked at the photo again. The realization hit me harder than anything else. She had lied about the miscarriage to cover her own secret life. My heart thudded painfully, but underneath, something else stirred a determination I had never felt before. "I will make sure the truth comes out," I whispered, voice trembling but resolute. "No more hiding. No more lies. She won't get away with this." I closed her laptop, heart racing, mind already planning the next step. The seeds of revenge had been planted, watered by betrayal, and now they were ready to grow. This wasn't just grief anymore. This was war, and I was done being a victim. I waited until she got home, my hands tight around the laptop. "Sarah, we need to talk," I said as she stepped through the door, smiling. "Another argument?" she asked lightly, dropping her bag. "No, not an argument. I have questions." I set the laptop down, opening the folder with the photos and messages. "Explain this." She glanced at the screen. What is that?" Dante played dumb. "These are the messages, the meetings, the money transfers. You lied about everything, your miscarriage, your nights at home?" "I know about him." Her calm smile faltered. You've been snooping?" "Don't twist this on me," I snapped. "You lied. You lied to me every step of the way?" She took a step back, raising her hands. "I didn't lie about us. I never meant to hurt you like this." "Hurt me?" I laughed bitterly. "Hurt me? You cheated on me emotionally while I mourned a baby I never lost because you were too afraid to tell the truth. Things got complicated. I didn't know how to handle it," she said softly. "I thought I was protecting you." "Protecting me?" I felt bile rise in my throat. "You protected yourself. That's all. Every lie was about you. About keeping your life in order while I believed in us." She faltered, looking panicked for the first time. "You had another relationship before me, didn't you?" I pressed, voice low, dangerous. "Tell me it's not true." She hesitated, biting her lip. Yes, I had someone before. But it ended. I thought he was gone from my life. I didn't think it mattered. Not think it mattered? I felt rage and disbelief collide. Do you know how this feels? Every memory I cherished, every trust I gave, it's all built on your manipulation. "I wasn't trying to manipulate you," she protested, voice cracking. "I wanted to fix everything, to be honest, eventually. I didn't know how to start." "Start." I shook my head. "You lied about being pregnant, Sarah. You lied about losing the baby. You let me grieve for something that never existed while you were living another life. How do you justify that?" Her eyes welled with tears. I can't justify it. I never wanted to hurt you this badly. I thought maybe I could handle it before you found out." "I never imagined. Never imagined." I echoed, voice sharp. "You didn't imagine that I'd find out? That I'd see everything?" She sank onto the couch, finally unguarded. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. "I thought maybe you'd leave me forever if you knew." "Leave you?" "Sarah, you've been living a lie. You've been leaving me every day in a world that wasn't real. I felt a strange mix of empowerment and disgust. I can't forgive this. Not blindly. Not ever. Her voice trembled. I don't know what you want from me. I'm sorry. You want an apology? I leaned forward, fury tempered by cold clarity. An apology won't erase months of lies, of manipulation, of betrayal. You've already destroyed what I thought was perfect. The rest you'll live with. She looked up, panic flashing in her eyes. So that's it! You're leaving me? I'm not leaving yet, I said. I'm reclaiming my life. You need to leave, Sarah. Go somewhere. Think. Face what you've done. Her lips trembled, and she stood hesitating at the door. I don't know if I can fix this. I don't know if I can survive this. You'll survive, I said quietly, voice firm, but not with me. You made your choices. Now, live with them. She turned, leaving in a mixture of fear and defiance. The door clicked shut behind her. Silence filled the apartment, but it wasn't peaceful, it was charged. Like the calm after a storm, I sat down, staring at the empty space where she had been. Rage, grief, and shame twisted inside me. But underneath it all, there was clarity. I wouldn't be a victim anymore. I wouldn't let her lies define me. I whispered to myself, this isn't the end. It's the beginning. I'll make sure the truth comes out, and I'll reclaim everything she tried to steal from me. The first step was over, but the road ahead was long, and I was ready. I stared at the envelope on the kitchen counter, hands shaking. This is it, I whispered to myself. Finally, David's voice buzzed through my phone. You ready for this? I know, I admitted, gripping the envelope like it was both a weapon and a bomb. I don't think I can handle what's inside. You need to, he said firmly. Whatever's in there, it's the truth. Don't run from it. I tore open the envelope, pulling out the sheet of paper. My heart froze. I couldn't read it at first, staring at the numbers, the names, the percentages. No, this can't be real, I muttered. Read it, man. David urged softly. I scanned the results, my stomach dropping. The baby Sarah claimed to have miscarried was not mine. Not biologically. My hands went numb and I sank into a chair. It's not mine, I whispered, voice breaking. Every word she said, every lie, all of it. David was quiet for a moment. I'm so sorry, man. I can't imagine how that feels. How could she? I asked, voice trembling with rage and grief. How could she live like this? Lie about everything. My trust, my love, my life. You need to breathe, David said. Don't let it consume you completely, but let yourself feel it. Anger, betrayal, heartbreak, they're all valid. I gripped the table, my knuckles white. She made me believe I lost our baby. I mourned it. I thought I was grieving. And meanwhile, she's been hiding everything. Her life, her choices, her lies. Yeah, David said gently. It's brutal, but now you know the truth. And now you can act with clarity, not just emotion. I feel poisoned, I muttered. Like everything I thought I knew about myself, about her, about us, it's all twisted. Look at it this way, David said. This isn't just about anger. This is about reclaiming your life. She can't control you anymore. I exhaled shakily, rubbing my eyes. But the betrayal on a molecular level. It's not just the lies, it's that she stole a part of me. My trust, my love, my identity as her husband. Everything is tainted now. David spoke softly. That's why it hurts so much. But it's also why you can rise from this. Use it as your turning point. Don't let her destroy you from the inside. I don't know if I can ever trust again, I admitted. Every smile, every word, every touch, was it all a performance? Maybe some of it, David said cautiously, but you can learn from it. Set boundaries. Protect yourself. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger. I looked at the paper again, the DNA results staring back at me. I can't believe how deep this goes, I said, voice low. She manipulated more than my heart. She manipulated my life, my reputation, everything I thought was sacred. Then let that drive you, David said. You know the truth now. You can act, and you don't have to be reckless. You just have to be smart. I exhaled again, feeling a strange mixture of rage, grief, and resolve. The stakes are higher than I imagined, I said. It's not just about revenge anymore. It's about reclaiming my life, my dignity, my sanity. Exactly, David said. You've got this, but take it one step at a time. I nodded slowly, gripping the results tightly. This changes everything. I have proof now. No more guessing. No more lies. And that proof? David asked. I looked at him, voice firm. It's my weapon. Not to hurt her physically, but to expose the truth. To take back what she tried to steal. Every lie, every manipulation, she can't hide from it anymore. David was silent for a moment. Then go get it, man. Reclaim your life. I folded the DNA results, placing them in my pocket like armor. My hands stopped shaking, replaced by determination. This is the turning point, I whispered. From now on, she doesn't control me. I control the truth. For the first time since the nightmare began, I felt a spark of clarity. Rage, sorrow, betrayal, it was still there. But now, it had purpose. The truth was mine, and I would make sure it counted. I spotted her across the cafe, sitting with that same effortless smile, unaware of what was coming. My hands gripped the DNA results and photos like a weapon. This ends today, I whispered to myself. Sarah looked up, her eyes widening slightly. What are you doing here? Talking, I said, voice steady but cold. About the truth? About everything you lied about. She laughed lightly, masking her nerves. I don't know what you mean. Can we talk later? No, I said firmly, sliding into the seat across from her. We're doing this now. People are watching, yes. And you know what? They deserve to see who you really are. Our smile faltered. Sarah? Why are you... I cut her off, placing the DNA results on the table. Start explaining this now. She glanced at the paper, eyes wide. That's private. You can't just private? You made it public in my life. I snapped. You lied about the miscarriage, manipulated everyone around you, and cheated emotionally. Don't even try to spin this. She tried to take a deep breath. Look, you're exaggerating. I exaggerating? I leaned forward, voice low but cutting. I have the proof. The baby wasn't mine. Every lie you told, every story you twisted to protect yourself, it's all here. People at nearby tables were beginning to stare. I didn't care. This was bigger than embarrassment, it was justice. This isn't what you think, she stammered, panic creeping in. You have to understand, I understand perfectly, I said, voice rising. I understood it when I found the messages, the photos, the secret meetings. I understood when I realized every night you said you were home, you weren't. Every tear I shed for the baby I thought we lost. That was all a lie. Her hands trembled as she reached for the papers. Please don't do this here. Too late, I said, holding them firmly. People will see the truth, and so will you. You don't get to manipulate reality anymore. She tried to compose herself. Maybe I made mistakes, but you can't. I don't want excuses. I shouted, I don't want your apologies. I want accountability. I want the lies to end. She looked around, realizing others were listening, watching, some whispering. Her usual charm faltered. Please, people, don't need to know this. We can fix it quietly. I said softer now, but firm. This is the reckoning. You forced me to doubt myself, to grieve for something that never existed, to question every memory we shared. You need to see the consequences of your actions. She collapsed slightly into her chair, panic clear in her eyes. I don't know what to say. I never meant to hurt you this much. Intent doesn't erase impact, I said, voice calm but deadly. You lied. You cheated. You manipulated. That's what people are witnessing now. Tears welled up in my eyes despite the fury. The closure felt bitter. Triumph and sorrow twisted together. I whispered under my breath, how could I have been so blind? How did love make me ignore everything? David's earlier words echoed in my mind. Use the truth, not rage. Let it free you. I exhaled, feeling some of the tension drain, replaced by a strange clarity. I trusted you. I loved you. And I allowed it to blind me. That ends now. Sarah looked defeated, her usual confidence gone. I can't argue with that. I truly am sorry. I don't need apologies anymore, I said. I need to reclaim myself. This ends today for both of us. You will live with this. I will live beyond it. Her head dropped, silent. The room felt heavy, but I felt a shift inside me. I had exposed the lies. I had spoken the truth publicly. And while there was no joy in this victory, only sorrow for what I had lost. It was necessary. I slid the DNA results back into my pocket, chest tight but steadier than before. This was the reckoning, I whispered. And I survived it. I will survive everything after this too. Sarah finally stood, hesitating at the door. She looked back at me, a mix of fear and defiance in her eyes. This isn't over, she said quietly. I shook my head. It is for me. For you, it's just the beginning of consequences. She left the cafe door clicking shut behind her. Silence fell over the space, but it was no longer oppressive. It was the quiet after chaos, a moment to breathe, to reflect. I sank into the chair. Hands trembling slightly, but my mind was sharp. Victory was hollow, yes, but necessary. I had survived betrayal. I had reclaimed my truth. And from this, I would rebuild not just my life, but my sense of self. The apartment felt emptier than ever. Silence pressed down, but it wasn't peaceful. It was heavy, haunted by everything Sarah had done. I whispered to myself, how do I even start again? David called that evening. How are you holding up? Not well, I admitted. Even after everything. Even after exposing her, I can't stop thinking about it. About her lies, the miscarriage, the baby that wasn't mine. Nights are the worst. The memories, they haunt me. I know, he said gently. It's going to take time. You can't force healing. You can only let it happen. I keep asking myself. I said, pacing. Could I have forgiven her? Could I have moved past this if I had known differently? Maybe, David said thoughtfully. But maybe justice was inevitable. Some betrayals aren't just mistakes. They break the foundation of trust. You can't rebuild on sand. I rubbed my face. Trust, that's the hardest part. I trusted her with everything. And I gave everything too. My love, my hope, my life. And she threw it away. You gave honestly, David reminded me. That's strength, not weakness. And you survived it. That counts for more than you think. I walked over to the shelf where a small baby mobile had once hung, now removed but still hauntingly familiar. I touched the empty hook. We would have hung it for our child, for our life together. And she lied about all of it. How do I reconcile that? By acknowledging your feelings, David said. Grief, anger, betrayal, they're all valid. Don't ignore them. But also remember you're not defined by her choices. You're defined by how you rise from them. I sank onto the couch. I feel like I'm seeing everything clearly for the first time. The lies, the manipulation, even my own blind spots. I let love make me blind. But I see it now, and I won't let it happen again. You're growing through this. Not just surviving, David said. That clarity will help you move forward, and you'll be stronger for it. I picked up my phone and scrolled through old photos, Sarah laughing, holding my hand, the life I thought we had. Each image hit like a knife. Every smile, every memory tainted. Yet they also remind me that I felt deeply, truly, even if she didn't deserve it. You gave yourself fully, David said softly. And that's worth honoring. Don't let guilt twist it into regret. I nodded slowly, staring out the window. Life's fragility is real, I admitted. I see it now. One moment you think everything is perfect, and the next it all shatters. I can't control what others do, but I can control how I respond. My self-respect, that's mine. Exactly, he said. And sometimes, solitude is the only way to find it. Reflect, learn, and build yourself anew. I glanced at the corner of the room where baby clothes had once waited. Now folded and stored, They felt like relics of a world that never existed. I can't change the past, I whispered, voice tight. But I can shape my future. I can choose who I become. And you will, David said. One step at a time. You've already survived betrayal, humiliation, grief. What's next will be easier because of that. I keep replaying our conversations, I said quietly. Her excuses, her smiles, the way she twisted reality. At first, I wanted to destroy everything now. I just want to understand how I survived it. And I have. That is something. You've grown, David affirmed. Pain teaches if you let it. And you're letting it, not letting it consume you. I exhaled deeply, feeling some of the heaviness lift. The apartment still hurts to be in. Every object, every corner is a reminder. But I can face it now. The past is fixed. I can't rewrite it, but I can learn. And I will. That's the right mindset, he said. Respect yourself first. Everything else will follow. I looked at the empty space where we once dreamed, and for the first time, I felt a small flicker of peace. I can't undo what she did. I can't undo my grief. But I can move forward. I can rebuild myself. And I will. David laughed softly. There's that fighter I know. The storm is over, but you're stronger for it. I smiled faintly, tears brimming, but not falling. Stronger. Yes, that's who I am now. The past is a teacher, not a jailer. And from here my life begins again. I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, tracing the faint lines that grief had carved into my face. This is me now, I whispered. Not broken. Not defeated, stronger. David's voice came through my phone as I scrolled aimlessly. Checking in, man. How's it feeling to actually breathe? I don't know, I admitted. Some days it's heavy. Some days I feel like I'm free, but I'm trying. Slowly. That's the point. You're rebuilding, not rushing. You'll see the difference soon. I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. I've started focusing on work. Promotions, projects I ignored while my life was chaotic. I didn't realize how much I let her consume me. That's smart, David said. Reclaim your time, your energy. It's yours again. I didn't just lose trust in her, I muttered. I lost trust in myself, in my judgment. But now slowly, I'm getting it back. Setting boundaries, saying no when I would have said yes before, noticing red flags I ignored. That's growth, man. That's huge. I exhaled deeply, looking at the stack of papers on my desk plans for the next quarter, projects I'd been putting off. I even started journaling, I admitted. Writing every thought, every reflection, helps me sort through the pain without letting it rule me. David chuckled softly. Look at you organized, introspective. Not what I expected when you were a mess last month. Mess? Yeah, that was me, I said, a small smirk forming. Grieving a baby that never existed, discovering betrayal on every level, hard to function. But you did, David reminded me. You survived and now you're rebuilding. That counts for more than you realize. I rubbed my temples. I even reached out to old friends I neglected. Coffee, dinners, casual meets, real connections, not just acquaintances. Feels good, like I'm reclaiming pieces of myself I lost. Exactly, he said. Life isn't just about surviving trauma. It's about rebuilding stronger networks, stronger self-respect, stronger you. I leaned back in my chair, thinking about Sarah. The memory that once brought rage now only brought a quiet recognition. She's gone from my life entirely. Not angry anymore, not plotting revenge. Just a lesson etched into my psyche. Hard, painful, but necessary. Good, David said. You can't control her, only yourself. And look at what you're doing. Taking control back, step by step. I stared at my hands. I confronted the pain head-on. I faced betrayal, humiliation, grief, and I survived it. That realization that's empowering. Feels like I'm building armor that isn't heavy, but protective. Exactly, he said. The kind you choose to wear, not the kind someone forces on you. I walked to the living room and looked at the empty space where we once dreamed together. No bitterness, just reflection. It still stings sometimes, I admitted. Objects, places, memories, they trigger flashes of what I lost. But they don't define me anymore. I define me. David laughed softly, and a hell of a definition it is. I've seen you rise, man. You're not just surviving. You're mastering life again. I'm learning to trust carefully, I said. Not blindly like before. Not giving everything to someone who might betray me, but opening up slowly, wisely, with boundaries. With self-respect. That's maturity, he said. And it'll pay off in relationships, work, everything. Trust isn't binary or learning to balance it. I smiled faintly. I even volunteered for a community project, helping others. Makes me realize life isn't only about my pain. Gives perspective. My betrayal, my heartbreak, it doesn't define the whole of me.
How?
David's voice softened. See, that's the psychological depth you've gained. You've survived heartbreak, confronted betrayal, and now you're integrating it into your identity. Not as a victim, but as someone wiser.
Oh.
I glanced at my journal on the desk. Every entry, every reflection, every raw emotion, recorded it, was a testament to resilience. I read back sometimes, I admitted. Reminds me how far I've come. From sleepless nights, obsessive thoughts, paranoia, to planning, rebuilding, reflecting, growing. That's it, David said. Your story isn't over. And the scars? They're part of the strength you carry now. I exhaled slowly, feeling a weight lift. I can't undo the past. I can't erase the betrayal or the heartbreak, but I can learn, adapt, grow. And I finally feel peace. Quiet, careful, but real. A peace that allows me to trust again when the time is right, and with people who deserve it. Exactly, David said warmly. You've rebuilt yourself. That's the victory. I looked around my apartment, once a space of memories, now a space of clarity. This is my life, my choices, my rules. I survived betrayal. I reclaimed my trust. I rebuilt myself. And from here, everything else is possible. David chuckled one last time. Amen to that, man. Amen to that. I set my phone down, letting the silence settle. Not oppressive this time, but steady, quiet, affirming. The past was behind me. The lessons were etched into my being. And the future, my future, was mine to shape. I hadn't expected to see her again, but the news came quietly through mutual friends. Sarah's life is falling apart, one whispered over coffee with David. What do you mean? I asked, sipping my drink slowly. She's losing her job. People are leaving her. Her friends are realizing she lied about everything. Reputation's shot. I felt a strange calm wash over me. I don't feel joy, I admitted. Not really. Just relief, maybe. Closure. David nodded. That's the karma you were waiting for. You don't have to lift a finger. The truth has a way of catching up. I guess, I said, staring out the window. All the manipulation, lies, betrayal, they're coming back to her naturally. I don't need to act. That's satisfying in a way, told you, David said. Life has a way of balancing itself. You just have to survive long enough to witness it. I laughed softly, shaking my head. Witness it, yes, but not gloat. I'm not her judge. Just a survivor watching a consequence unfold. Exactly, David said. And it's proof you did the right thing. By reclaiming yourself, instead of chasing revenge, you stayed ahead of the chaos. I thought back to the apartment, the empty baby mobile, the photos, the lies. I went through rage, grief, betrayal, humiliation. I wanted her downfall at first. Now I realize it's different. Karma isn't amidst life. Life has its own sense of justice, David said. You only needed to stay true to yourself. I exhaled, thinking of all the nights I'd spent obsessing, checking, questioning. I've spent so long focused on her lies. Now I see. I was focusing on me too. My resilience, my sanity, my boundaries. And that's exactly where you needed to be, David said. She's falling apart. Yes, but you're building yourself up. That's the real victory. I leaned back, eyes closing. I've started seeing patterns now. Red flags I ignored, moments I dismissed, choices I made that left me vulnerable. But I see them. I can trust wisely, carefully, with self-respect. Good, David said warmly. That's the real lesson. Trust, love, boundaries, they're tools, not blind gifts. I saw a post online today, I said quietly. Someone I knew from our circle said she lied to them too, manipulated situations to her advantage. She's losing everything. Her friends, her job, her influence, and it's not Meet's life correcting itself. That's poetic justice, David said softly. You don't have to touch it. You just survive and thrive while it happens. I feel peace, I admitted. Not happiness. Not joy. Just balance. Moral balance restored. I can close this chapter fully now. You earned it, David said. By acting with integrity and facing your pain head on, you allowed karma to run its course without getting dragged into darkness. I exhaled slowly, thinking of all the lessons burned into my psyche. Love is precious. Trust is sacred. I gave both fully and blindly. That's a mistake I won't repeat. But it also taught me how deeply I can feel, how fiercely I can survive.
Ow.
David chuckled softly. Survival and self-respect. That's a powerful combination. I looked around my apartment, once filled with echoes of lies and betrayal. Now it felt neutral, a space for reflection. Every object, every corner, it reminds me of her actions. But now they're reminders of growth, not grief. And that's the ultimate closure, David said. You've reclaimed your space, your mind, your life. Her downfall isn't your responsibility. It's the universe handling its business. I nodded slowly. I can finally think about the future. Carefully, wisely, I can trust again. Not blindly. Not recklessly. But with awareness and self-respect, that's liberation. And don't forget, David said, you're no longer defined by her lies. You're defined by how you rise above them. I smiled faintly, feeling the weight lift. Rising above, yes. I survived betrayal, humiliation, heartbreak. I faced truth, reclaimed myself, and let life balance the scales. That's power. That's clarity. That's peace. David's voice softened. Your story becomes a testament, not just of survival, but of resilience, wisdom, and strength. People may see the betrayal, but they'll also see the recovery. I exhaled deeply, looking at the empty spaces once tied to her lies. Sarah's manipulations unraveled. Karma caught up naturally, and I finally feel closure. Sorrow lingers, yes, but so does empowerment. A balance restored without me having to stoop to her level. Exactly, David said. That's the satisfaction you were seeking, and it's real. I whispered to myself, my life, though scarred, is mine. Trust rebuilt carefully, love given wisely, boundaries respected. I've survived, I've learned, and I've grown. The world outside moved on, indifferent, yet fair. And I felt the truth in my chest. Justice doesn't always need hands to deliver it. Sometimes survival, self-respect, and integrity are the greatest karmic forces of all. I smiled faintly, letting the peace settle. My story, painful but powerful, stood as proof that betrayal can break you. But wisdom and strength can rebuild you even stronger than before.